Are we recording?
We're live.
Confirm it.
Lovely.
Love, love, love.
We're confirmed.
Guys, is this the podcast?
Is this going?
Yeah.
It's going, dude.
Guys, welcome to the Good Crack Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Ferrara, here with my co-host,
Joey D. Philippus. How you doing?
and we have a very, very special guest today. We wanted to have him on a long time. One of
Fellow
our
Jersey boy.
fellow Jersey boy, one of our first friends in comedy, I'd say.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Remember
Yeah.
that? I will never forget because it was the first night that we did well at comedy ever. It was about like a month in, and it was that DTUT mic.
Oh, yeah.
I think you and Franklin tried to ride bikes there.
We did.
And I was like, why?
That was right after
I
the
got
shop,
a car.
right?
Yeah.
You're like, I got a car.
Not only did I have a car that I could have drove you guys, but like that's like 90 blocks you were attempting to drive.
You want to know what's even worse is we rode the bikes up to 20th Street and then we got in a cab.
You did 20 blocks. Fuck this.
It's like, yeah, there it is. Yeah, that was a great night. I remember because we like went after the shop and we like went back to back to back on DTUT and everyone crushed.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Because it was like, I think I had just bombed at the shop, but like I believed in what I was doing like that night. Or I tried something new at the shop and I was like, let me try the old shit at this like DTUT mic that's supposed to be like real audience. And we got there, it was me, you, Franklin, Joey, we were having a great fucking time. And some of the comics were all right, some whatever, but then like the bar was packed, but the bar is just a real running bar with a lot of Upper East Side patrons, and they just like get a little chatty sometimes. And they lost interest, they were chatting it up. And I was like, it was Joey, me, and then you, I think, right? That was a lineup.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And Joey started his set by being like, everyone shut the fuck up. And like, it really pulled everyone in. And then after that, we all crushed. Like, it was, I always described it as like, it felt like going to war with your friends. Like, the room was gone, and we had to all win it back, and we all did. It was amazing.
Yeah, and for us being so early on, I'm like, this is what it can be.
Yeah.
And like, that's not even like close to the pinnacle of what it can be. But
That
just,
wasn't
like,
even a show. That was
Yeah.
an open mic, but it felt like a show.
Just being in
and
a
it
packed
was,
room.
It was the first time you and I got to perform for people that weren't other comics.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
we just came from that shop mic where I remember you guys brought like a group of friends. There were those
Yes.
girls there and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt good, man. I got to say, the open mics when there's no audience members there, like, it's tough, dude. I mean, you
for
guys,
sure.
it's horrible.
Yeah, that was like,
dude, I think about like the last few weeks when we were like doing shop pair together, like back to back, we'd go up and just get nothing, and it would be like,
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but
I'm in a hole.
I realized recently that like I am not a comics comic, and I don't know if I ever will be.
dude,
like,
you know what it is? It's so hard because like you want to laugh at your friends, you want to see them do well, you want to see other fellow comics doing well, but it's like a lot of the times dude, we're all guilty of it. You've heard the same joke 100 times. You know what I mean? I've seen our friends do the same jokes 100 times. It's not that it's a bad joke. I just can't laugh at it every time.
Right.
And then also it's like depending on the crowd of like comics that are there, it's like, oh, are these guys going to be the ones that are super dark or the ones that want me to just say like fucked up shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like to be a comics comic is like A, not our job, and B, like hard as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not easy. It's so weird though. Like I get more nervous at an open mic than I do in front of a show.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's like if there's like 3 people that have never held a microphone before, I just come to life. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
No, that's incredible.
Well, because they're normies, and normies will laugh at anything.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Yeah.
what it is. And I don't know. It was that was the first time it felt good, and we did it with you, buddy. So thank you.
Yeah.
For being
Yeah, that was a
part
good
of our
time.
history.
Yeah, dude.
So
Glad to have
Christian
you.
Gutowski, am I pronouncing that right?
Gutowski.
Gutowski.
Yeah,
Gutowski, you are from Sparta, New Jersey.
that's correct.
And give us a little bit about your early days. What was it like growing up in your neck of the woods in Dirty Jersey?
Oh man, growing up in Sparta was pretty nice. It was it's like this suburban bubble of a lake town.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of farmland.
I would say it's
northern
very
Jersey.
like woody, you know?
Yeah. So it's nice. It's beautiful. I mean, like everyone there is white and like well off. So it was it was one of those, you know.
Yeah.
But we had a good time, man. I was a horrible fucking kid.
Really?
Absolute horrible child. Yeah. But we had a blast, man.
What kind of horrible child? Were you just
Yeah.
like the class clown, or like were you
You were a
like
menace?
Dude, so
throwing
it
eggs at houses?
Started with the class clown. I won class clown in 8th grade, and then in high school, I was just like a huge drug dealer. Like, it was so bad. I broke my mother's heart.
Just like weed.
Weed, coke, pills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
Jesus
yeah, like
Christ.
everything. Yeah, but I was also like a band geek. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
it was
yeah,
the
well,
weirdest
you played
shit.
trombone.
Dude, yeah.
That's wild. And you went to Sparta High School?
Yeah.
And so that was your thing. You did band. Did you do anything else? Play any sports or whatnot? Theater?
Yeah, I did theater. Yeah. I was in the musicals. I played lacrosse for a couple years, and then did like cross country for a little bit.
Wow.
That was it.
And you were always a band kid throughout as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the jazz band was my jam.
Trombone?
It was saxophone first, and
Wow.
then they needed a trombone player. So
And you were just ripping jazz, and you said, "This is what I'm gonna do."
yeah.
You were like a real jazz man.
I was
You know,
Selling drugs.
coke, weed, money, coke, weed, pills.
just stuffing coke in a trombone. There's nothing cooler.
Like LeBron with the powder when he comes out, and you just put a bunch of blow in your trombone and just.
Did you go to band camp?
No, I didn't go to band
I was
camp.
gonna say, what was that like?
Yeah.
We could have got some real deep
Yeah,
cuts.
really.
Yeah, right.
Just
I wish I had
slanging
some band
fucking
camp
Molly
stories.
to the
Well, no,
hot
you
band girls.
have the joke on stage where it's like, yeah, I worked with a gang, like we sold drugs.
Oh yeah,
It's called the Jazz Band. The Trap.
dude, it was so whack, man. Like
So-
going to like theater practice high
Oh,
is just like
yeah.
ridiculous as shit.
That is ridiculous. I went to theater practice drunk once when I was playing Helen Keller's father, and I was like, why did I do this? Like it was after school, it's sophomore year. My buddy's like, dude, my parents had a party this weekend. There's still a lot of the keg left over. Come over. So at 2:50, I'm at this kid's house, hammering beers. And then I'm like, oh, I have to go play Helen Keller's father in an hour. The girl that was playing my wife picked me up. I show up to practice, and I'm just like, Helen, where are you? Like, just fucked up.
All of a sudden, you're beating Helen.
Yeah, I'm like an Irish father.
It's the drunk version.
Yeah, I'm a drunk now. It's a character choice, Mrs. Blah, blah, blah.
Someone made a play about Helen Keller.
It's a very famous play. It's called The Miracle Worker, and it's about the woman that like taught Helen Keller how to like do all that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm her father, Colonel Keller, Captain Keller of the southern side of the Civil War.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So I was doing that.
Confederate.
Confederate, if you will.
Fitting.
It's a good play. It's actually a good play. It's pretty well known.
Wow. I'll have to check that out. Sounds pretty
I was
interesting.
like kind of I'm not gonna talk about it. Never mind. I was in a pseudo relationship with the girl playing Helen Keller too, so that was great.
Oh,
I'm
off
just-
stage?
Yeah.
Oh,
But like
yeah.
on stage she's just like, man, and I'm just like and I'm like, Helen, I love you. Like I was supposed to kind of be like an abusive father. I'm like, don't give the girl attention. Like it was the whole thing. I had a fake cigar and a cane, and they put like age lines on me and gray in my hair. I'm walking around as a sophomore, like, well, the Confederates should have won the war. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is insane.
So you're playing a racist Confederate captain that also beats his
blind,
deaf
deaf
daughter. It was a good time.
like this is good for high school
Yeah,
students.
This is
what-
the theater.
Yeah. Dude, not even to
Theater.
mention this show's coming in like normal, like it wasn't because we were slacking, like 2 hours 45, and like parents are coming to just see us put on a fucking adaptation of this.
because those are the only
song.
people that go.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, it was great. It was just the parent. My mom would see the show three. Like I actually never thought about that. Like my mom would see every show I did when I was in high school, meaning she had to sit 3 to 4 times of me just being like, Grease lightning, like, and I'm like, man, this probably sucks for them. Like they're good parents. Truthfully, all of them.
Like that weekend, it's just like, all right, Friday night, 3 hours of Grease. Saturday afternoon, 3 hours of Grease, and then at 6 p.m. on Saturday night,
3
we got
hours
3
of
hours of Grease.
No, exactly. Dude, think about middle school even. Like that must have been that's how me and Joey met. We met in elementary
Yeah.
school, but then we became close when we did the musicals together in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And those were fun, but those had to be terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Like Guys and Dolls Jr., like it's just us in zoot suits being like, I want to play fucking craps, you see?
Yeah.
And like the parents are just like, phenomenal. This is incredible. My
Too
kid's
good.
going to be a star. Nah, I give big shouts out to all the parents out there that go see every one of their kids' plays. But it's probably the same thing with like having to go see a high school jazz band for 4 hours. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
the
man.
spring concert was probably miserable for some
Playing
fathers.
in a sentimental mood.
Yeah.
It's always.
Were you guys
brutal.
good?
Yeah, we were actually sick as fuck.
Did you guys go on like the Disney trips where you're just
Yeah.
crushing it?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
ripping Coltrane.
We would always come in second place in all these jazz band competitions. We would come in second to like Newark Academy, and these kids were just absolute cats. Like they were all so fucking.
I like how he called them cats. Like
Yeah.
that's the term.
No, that makes sense.
He's one bad cat.
He's one bad kid.
You guys walk in your little like tuxedos or whatever band people wear, and they're like coming in and like loose fucked up zoot suits with sunglasses on, just strung out on H.
They were school issued.
They're like Chet Baker.
I'm a jazz man.
The tuxes were school issued. They fit nobody, right?
Yeah, so you
dude,
guys
we
actually
just,
wore
like,
those?
We just looked retarded. Dude.
Just
Like, the
smelled like
sleeves were too
years
long.
and
Yeah,
years
like,
of desperation.
Like you remember how the costumes in the theater department
Oh,
smelled
yeah.
like just like they were collecting dust.
That's like 200 years old that
Yeah.
have been used in a million shows.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they smelled like. You couldn't dry clean the smell off.
Amazing. So then you graduate high school. Where are you off to next?
I go to school for jazz.
Where at?
College of St. Rose in
Where's that?
Albany.
Oh,
It's
and
a little dinky school.
is it a good jazz program or good music program? Or it's just kind of like
It was okay. It was like I was either gonna go there or Drexel, and or there was one other place I got into. I think it was like New Haven, but they gave me the most money at St. Rose, so I was
that's
like,
crazy to think about. Like I guess now people know about it a little more because of like Whiplash. But like,
Right.
you could go like full ride for like a jazz scholarship. Right?
oh yeah. I mean, I would never fucking pay for that. Well, actually, I wanted to go for audio engineering because I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. I wanted to be like a rock star, and I was just like
Yeah.
kind of like pursuing all these like shadow careers.
Did you play everything? Like not just the sax and trombone?
Yeah. I play like guitar, piano,
I just
bass
gotta
drums.
put my time in with jazz.
Yeah.
Finish school, and then when I get out, I drop the solo out.
What was that first year at the jazz program like? Is it like Whiplash or no?
Get ready for this, bro. I was there for like 3 weeks.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
you were in and out.
In and out, dude. It was like that, man. Like you had practicing like 8-10 hours a day. Like your lips are just numb. So I was getting ready for these. So I got the scholarship to be in the jazz program and play in the jazz band. And then they made me audition. I had no fucking idea where anything was because I was doing acid like every single day I was there. And so I show up. The audition window is from like, I think it was like 3 to 5. So I show up. I couldn't find the room. I went to the room that I did the original audition to get into the school. So I'm waiting outside that room for someone to show up, and no one comes. So I go and find the other room. I get in there. I'm 5 minutes late. And the guy's like, we already picked out our ensemble. Like, you can try out again next year. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, what's going to happen to my scholarship? And he was like, I don't care. I was like, all right.
So
I
it
just
was
peaced
like
out.
that. They're just like
literally like you were gonna lose the scholarship.
I have no idea, but I was like, this sucks.
he
Like,
was heartless artist types.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you were late. Well,
Go fuck yourself.
you can reapply.
yeah,
It's literally like J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
literally.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was
No,
brutal.
sir, I want to be in this band. You want to be in this band?
Throws a chair.
They were brutal, man.
Prove
Which
to
was
me.
sad.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
like that movie did a good job of painting that. So then what do? You literally like, I'm out, I'm transferring?
Yeah, dropped out, went home, was playing in a band I was in, like playing and singing, playing guitar and singing. Did like
Not in school?
not in school. Did a couple shows. Was like, I'm just gonna ride the music wave. And then my band broke up, and I was like, dude, I had no idea what the fuck was going on with my life.
Wow.
So yeah, I ended up reverting back to the things I knew how to do, which was selling drugs. And then that lasted for like 5 months, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So went to community college, transferred into Northeastern,
Where'd you go to community?
County College of Morris.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
a lot of my roommate sophomore year went to CCM.
Yeah. So yeah, that was CCM was a blast, man.
Really?
Yeah, I was on the
Wow.
lacrosse team there, and we were. It was like fucking Animal House.
I feel
We
like
were
New
ludicrous.
Jersey community colleges get after it.
Oh, they do, man. They
Wow.
do. It can suck. Like a lot of people I knew from high school went there, and they're like, I'm fucking miserable. But I was like, if I'm gonna be here for 2 years, like we are gonna make this
Yeah.
work.
Kind of
Make
like
the most of it,
Montclair's
yeah.
not a community college, obviously. It's a very good school. It's a big school,
Yeah.
but it's a commuter school. So it's like it feels like that sometimes. So it's like if you're going to go there, you could either show up to class and then go home, or you could like have a good time.
Do
if
the
you
thing,
want.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got it, man. Anywhere you go. Yeah, we were throwing like parties at my house where like we did like the Project X thing where we were like no shirts allowed in the hot tub, and like girls were like taking off their clothes, and like this is the craziest community college. it's
Dude,
fucking
CCM
insane.
for all the youngins looking where to go for
CCM.
community college. Fuck Bergen, fuck Passaic. County College of Morris is where
Yeah.
it's at.
Play sport.
So then you said, I'm out of there, and that's when you go to Northeastern,
Yep.
and you went there for business, correct?
Yeah.
And what was that time like there? Like, were you like, fuck business, but like it's a means to an end, or were you serious about it? Were you thinking about comedy yet?
You know what? All I wanted was I think just security. So like I was like, this is my dad's like a serial entrepreneur. He's pretty successful. So I was like, I'll just kind of follow in those footsteps. I'll get a job, go into sales, do something like that. And and then over the pandemic, I was like, fuck that. It's horrible.
When did you graduate?
2019.
Oh, fuck,
my
dude.
age.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I did that gap year.
Okay,
And then Northeastern was a 5-year school. So I graduated high school in 2013.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So
Yeah.
you're 3 years older than me, 2 years older than me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then did you do anything in business before the pandemic?
Yeah. I had a sales job at a cybersecurity company up in Boston. I was
Cool.
doing that. That's actually where I did that co-op.
Yeah.
And so I stayed with them for a little while. I was supposed to get a promotion. They like pushed it off because of the pandemic. All this stuff happened. They were like, we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. We'll talk about it in 2
Are
weeks.
you living in Boston at this time?
In Boston,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So, like, we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. Talk about it in 2 weeks. Pandemic hits. They stretch this thing out for like 6 months. I go to Tulum to work remotely down there, and they were like, "Hey, we're not going to be able to promote you for like a very long time." So I was like, "You know what? We got an unlimited vacation policy. I'm just going to see if I can use that for the rest of the year." So I hit them up. I was like, "I'll be taking off the rest of the year effective immediately," and they were like, "All right, you're fired." I was like, fantastic. So I just fucked off and I hung out in Tulum for a couple more
Were you
weeks.
like trapped in Mexico? What was the deal with that?
No. We were just, this was like October and November of 2020.
Oh, okay.
So
like,
it was like, yeah.
Pandemic had been going. We knew it was good.
Yeah.
It was not that
You were
bad.
quarantining.
Pretty much.
You were
How
being
long were you out there?
responsible.
3 weeks?
I was down in Tulum for 6 weeks total.
Just doing what?
I went down with like 5 of my buddies from college. We got 2 Airbnbs and we were just clowning. That place was insane, man. Beach parties every single day. The drug scene down there was nuts. Like I smoked like 5-MeO DMT for the first time, dude. Like
Jesus Christ.
thought like I died. There was like shamans everywhere. Like they were throwing like COVID was still strict down there, so they would throw parties in the jungle. So you'd get a flyer
What?
and get a ticket and you'd show up at like some supermarket and then they would pick you up in a van and drive you into the middle of the fucking jungle. And then in like these rock caverns in there would just be DJs and like light setups and people would just dance and do
Did you
ketamine
never
till like 6
like
in the morning.
worried about
Wow.
getting like fucked up by the cartel? Like, is it safe down there?
Oh no, dude! The cartel shot like a handful of people. They don't shoot the tourists though because they're like, you know,
Yeah.
they want
Were
our
you
money.
guys ever like robbed or anything? Or?
No.
Oh, Jesus. So like, what is these Airbnb like cheap enough that you guys could ball out for 6 weeks?
Yeah, I mean the Airbnbs down there. I think it was like,
Like, what were you living in? An apartment?
oh, dude, the place was gorgeous.
Oh,
We had
really?
like a two
Villa?
Yeah, I had a villa, 2-story villa with like a pool in the front. Like it was freaking gorgeous.
Wow.
But it was like $3,000 for the month, so each of us paid like $1,000 each,
That's
and we
not
had
that
2
bad.
places. Yeah, no,
Alright,
it's not bad at all.
let's go to Tulum.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
I'll do a month or 2 in Tulum.
yeah, why not? It's
And
a great place.
You're just
Little
eating,
cavern
drinking, having a great time.
Yeah, man.
And you're unemployed at this point.
No, I still have a job at this point. And then at the end of the trip, I was like, then
That
that
was when
whole
you
thing
said,
happened.
yeah.
And then, yeah.
And when you were in Boston, when you were in college, when all this is going on, you're working in sales, were you doing stand-up? Did you have any inkling that you were interested in stand-up? Where did stand-up come from in this journey?
Yeah, so I always had like the comedic relief roles when I did theater, and like one class clown stuff like that. So I was like Ali Hakim in Oklahoma, like
Yeah.
that kind of shit. And then when I was in a fraternity in college, my position in the chapter was the historian. So that was like a 2-fold chair. The first part of it was you had to collect all of the like fucked up pictures and videos of everyone from the weekend and turn it into like a stand-up presentation for the chapter. So that was a ton of fun and I loved that. But then we had to write a play for the pledges, and it was a satirical play that made fun of all like the drama that happened in the chapter. And I never enjoyed anything more in my entire life. And so like through that I ended up doing like 1 or 2 open mics, which was like a ton of fun. And
This is college?
this is college, yeah. And
Boston?
it was like fine.
Yeah.
And then over the pandemic, I was like, nothing has ever made me happier than doing that. So I'm gonna just go pursue it as a career.
Wow. So when you go to Mexico, is your residence in Massachusetts, or you'd already gotten out of there? At that
No,
point?
I got out of the lease and I was just like using my dad's place as a home base.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you were like, fuck it, I'm going back to the East Coast. I'm doing comedy.
Yep.
And how quickly after Mexico did that take off?
So I left Tulum in November, went back and we did Mexico City with the same group and all these girls that we met in Tulum for like a month, and that was in January and February. Come back in March, and then I came to New York in April to do one open mic. I stayed with my buddy, did an open mic, and hooked.
Yeah, it was the same with us. We tell everyone, like, the first time you go up, you're gonna bomb, but then you're gonna walk off stage and be like, I need to do that again immediately.
I went back the next day, wrote a whole new 5. I was working on this like 5-minute set about like losing weight, and like, cause I was like trying to get in shape at the time, and it like no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
So I came back the next day, wrote a whole new 5-minute set in one day. I didn't understand like how any of it works. And got a couple laughs, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Where was your first open mic?
Eastville Comedy Club in Brooklyn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. You were out there.
I didn't know where else to go.
Dude, we didn't know either. I'm not going to tell the story again because I guess I have to, but like, I met a bartender at a wedding who was like, oh, you're interested in stand-up? Like, my place does it. You should come. I bartend at this place. I'm like, I don't really know. I've never done stand-up. I was like, Joe, if I'm doing this, you got to come with me. She's like, I signed you up this Monday, and it was the Comedy Shop.
No shit.
So I was just lucky.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking about doing it for a while, but we had no access in. Like, we had no idea which clubs were good, where to be, what neighborhood. So we were like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to just show up and do it. And then we just got that extra push, and it was the Comedy Shop. So.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah,
That bartender was Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
That you met at the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it all, like,
you
came
definitely
together.
met Genesis, but she used to work at the Comedy Shop. She had, like, big curly hair, but she's gone now.
Oh, yeah. I remember her.
She was great.
Yeah, I don't think I ever actually, like, met her, but I remember the hair.
She was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing you guys the first time at Comedy Shop, and you did that, like, Stalin bit, and I was like, these guys are fucking hilarious.
That's funny because, like, that was probably, like, a
bit.
month in, and it was, like, we were really, like you just said, like, our first thing, we both went up for the first time. I did, like, a 5-minute set that was just one story about spaghetti. And his was like
I did 5 minutes on like the kid who made $400,000 selling NFTs, and I was just like, if that were my kid, he'd, you know,
zero laughs. And then right away, that's the thing that was nice. Everyone was like very cool and nice about it, and they're like, yeah, man, like, do jokes, do a lot of them, don't do one thing. We're like, oh, okay. So we started writing, figuring out, like, that joke you just brought up, like the Mussolini bit was like the first one where I was like, I kind of understand what's going on here. Joey had like, what was the fucking, the twins, the
Siamese
twins.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we're getting our fucking brand, you know, like figuring it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's so interesting, man. Like, when you start out, it's so like setup heavy always. Yeah. It's like just insane. And then like as you go through, you're like, all right, this like 3-minute bit I had, it's really, you know, like 20 seconds, which is
it's
insane.
20 seconds that leads into another 40 seconds that I could, you know, then connect to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's wild.
You start trimming the fat.
That's what's the most addicting about it, though, is you realize that there is a method to it, and if you do it correctly, like make a premise, make a joke, try it at a mic, know what you have to cut or add, refine, and then after a couple weeks, you have a joke. You know what I mean?
Yo, yeah, 100%.
And that's like kind of right when we sank up with you. Was the night we went to DTUT the first night we met? I think it was.
Yeah.
And because I remember you were like, "Who are those girls that were with you?" We're like, "Oh, just friends." We're like,
well, they were laughing it up when I saw the girls there. I was like, "Oh, great! Like now I can do some of my jokes that like I wrote like for girls to enjoy." It's all about like me growing up with sisters and like watching Gilmore Girls, dude. Yeah. I was like, finally, because every time I go to the mic, it's just like 30 dudes who want to hear everyone say like, "Oh, that's gay and retarded," and it's like you can never. I digress. I could bitch all day long, dude.
Dude, I was like, people were like so shocked and happy in the beginning because like Joey and I would have like friends come through, like my cousins would stop by, and like they're like, "You're bringing people to an open mic?" I'm like, "Yeah, like isn't everyone?" Like, no, like
or like when we would sit through the entire mics, and then people would be like. Or like Brett Raybold's like, "You guys are sweethearts. You sit through a whole mic." We're like, "Yeah, but aren't you?" Like, and then you see like people coming in. Like you'll see like O'Toole come in, do his set, and then you see everyone else, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I understand now."
Yeah, I've gotten better at not staying at 2-hour open mics for their entire.
Oh my god. We went to a pair mic on a Saturday, and we sat there for like 2.5 hours. Like, not even exaggerating. It was like 2.5 hours. Like to the point where like we were on comic like 26, and it was just so soul crushing.
Yeah.
And we were just like, man, what are we doing?
It was wild.
2.5 hours.
We like didn't eat. Like we didn't eat all day. Like we never, because we like woke up and went. So like we're just sitting there after, just like malnourished, just like what the fuck did we just do?
Yeah.
Folks, we're coming at you with some love for our sponsor today, Manscaped. the below-the-waist grooming champions of the world, trusted by 4 million men, and I'm one of them.
Which is about 8 million balls, if my math is correct. Give or take.
Give or take. And you're going to use the code GOODCRACK at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. I mean, Matt, you use the products. I use the products.
Guys,
what do you think of the products?
Christian, I was just talking to you about this. We recreationally talk about Manscaped in the streets. Like, it's just a normal topic of conversation.
Yeah.
You were saying you got the lawnmower 4.0, right? And this was it came in the mail right before you had a big date. And you were like, fuck, it's the winter, I'm cold, but I don't know if this girl's into pubes and whatnot. So what did you do?
Yeah, man. I used the lawnmower 4.0, man. My shit looks like Bermuda grass down there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it is golf course material.
Oh, so you didn't go clean. You hit it with the one filter. You know, you said, let me leave a little hair.
Yeah, I'll take a one.
Artistic.
Get a one?
Yeah. And how did that date go? Did she get to take a putt off the Bermuda grass?
Oh, she took a putt.
Did she take your club and do a hole in one?
Oh yeah, it was a bogey actually. Yeah, it took a couple swings, but we got there. We got there. I'd been drinking.
You're new to the game, right?
Yeah.
We're all new to golf.
What do you do when you put the golf balls in the washer thing? Yeah. Was she doing that to you?
Oh yeah, they don't call me Golftowski for nothing, baby.
Golftowski. That's what they do call him, folks. So we can't stress enough. The lawnmower 4.0. The 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, the performance package. These products are unreal, guys. I've been using the hydrating spray, the deodorant, the lip balm like a motherfucker. It's the best in the biz. And guess what? All of you can go get it right now for 20% off and free shipping with code GOODCRACK at checkout. Your balls will thank you, folks.
And guys, it's Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, so every purchase you make, proceeds will be going to the Testicular Cancer Society of America. So not only are you going to get great products that keep your family jewels looking good, you're going to be supporting a great cause that hits a lot of people. So, keep that in mind when you're fleshing out your wallet.
Yeah, fuck faces.
Good crack at checkout, guys.
Good crack.
Peace.
Yeah. You think if Andrew Scholes came to the 4 or 4:30 pair mic, you think he'd do well?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know why the pair mics, everyone, especially like the 4:30s, are like always just brutal.
Oh, dude. I think it's where you get better just because of how brutal it is.
Yeah, but like I've never seen anyone crush a 4. I don't go enough, but like every time it's like the people that I know are amazing and I've seen crush everywhere else, it's just like radio silence. I'm like, oh my God.
I will say, like, I agree with you. Like, it does make you a lot better because you get comfortable with the silence, but there's like a diminishing return to it because like I host a show at Broadway like every other Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like,
I'll be doing
it
the 27th.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like, people that are doing it for their first time.
Yeah.
But they've done is like mics for 3 months. So like what I notice is that if you do that enough and you bomb enough, like, yeah, they're comfortable on stage, but they're so used to bombing that they walk over their punchlines. They're already doing their recovery lines before
walk over their laughs too.
100%.
I noticed that at the one I came to a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
they don't sit in it at all.
Yeah, and you got to learn that lesson because like there are jokes that like if you write a smart joke and it takes people a second, you got to give them like 4 or 5 seconds to pick up on it and just like lock eyes. But
that's the hardest part is kind of connecting with the audience because in the beginning you're just running it like blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would black out.
So you got your own show now. Is that Just Friends?
Just Friends, yeah.
And who do you run that with?
Julia Kastner.
Yes, I met her once. She's super nice.
She's the new host for my mic on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah?
Really? Yeah.
She's the shit.
Yeah. She's really nice.
So I did a show at Stand Up last night and she came. And I was hanging with like David Hazoud. He was hosting that show. And
David H,
dude, my fucking boy. I love that guy.
He's like, he was our,
Yeah, he was like one of our first people. He'd be like, yeah, I'm a Jewish guy from Morocco. Now here, I'm just the Jew. But back there, I was the Jew. I don't get no fucking respect, man.
I love it, dude.
All right.
Yeah, he's great.
After the show, though, it was me, Julia, David, and this girl I was hanging out with. We all went to a strip club for some girl's birthday that David was friends with. Bro, all of his friends are exactly like him. So it's me, Julia Kastner, who's like the most innocent-looking girl ever, and David H, and a bunch of other people that are like foreign.
What strip club?
It was on like 39th Street, in between.
Is it like near Times Square?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hustlers, I think it might be called.
Maybe. It's like blue sign out front.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty bleak in there. I've never been there, but I've walked by it.
It was fucking hype.
It's hype?
Yeah, I'm not a big strip club fan because
I just partook a lot in Vegas in the last couple months because I went. I told you that that was the last time I saw you, I think, because I had just gotten back from Vegas, dude. Shell of a man.
Yeah.
And the strip clubs out there are wild. And I'm not, like you said, I'm not a strip club guy, but when you're in Vegas, you
have to.
When in Rome.
In Rome.
Yeah.
And those places are like factories. Like, it was horrifying.
It's scary in there. The 200.
They just have an equation down. I've never been, but from like what I hear from you, it's like they have the equation down.
Machine.
Yeah. Like, how do you scale lap dances? They just figured it out.
Everything. Everything.
Oh, it's
buying them a drink.
You have to buy them a drink.
Like, they just have everything set up where like you're leaving there $600, $2,000,
Dude, I can only imagine. I'm there going broke, just like I made $300 this week. That's my budget for tonight. And then there's like guys that are like 50, and I'm like with these girls on their laps all night, and I'm like, you got to be going in 10 grand. Like, there's no other way about it. And then you want to pay them to fuck you, another $5,000, and these guys got to be paying that, I'd imagine.
Oh,
and
easily.
listen, if you're a degenerate who makes a lot of money, like, all power to you.
I can't imagine a lot of them do.
The guys.
Like I'm saying, like I feel like a lot of them, they don't make a lot of money, so that's what makes it even more sad.
Which
they're patrons of sex work, which
Yeah.
it's progressive. I like that.
Someone's got to support them,
Yeah, dude,
Everyone's
we're
the
pro
sex
sex
workers.
work. We've said it on
Absolutely.
this podcast.
It's only a matter of time.
Prostitution should be legal.
Yeah, it should be. I think the funniest thing about those the strip clubs is like the very seemingly genuine interactions you have with the strippers.
They make you fall in love with them every time.
Dude, I got yelled at by one of them in Vegas.
Why?
Because
you that was the thing. Remember that night you were like, you went for like 4 minutes of Vegas material.
Oh yeah.
And it was just basically me and you having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I was like loving it because I'm like, you're hitting the nail on the
yeah,
head.
he said like the exact strip club that you were at.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
The
Spearmint
Rhino.
Rhino.
Yeah. Dude, that place is fucking. So the girl, I hate it there. Vegas is just like, it's a carnival cruise on land. It's like, it's not real.
Anything more than 3 days, you're like, get me the fuck out of
Dude,
here.
I told you I was there
You're
for 5.
trapped, yeah.
I missed so many flights.
So you're talking to this stripper.
So she's eating a slice of pizza, and I walk over, and I was like, just being nice. I was like, oh, it's like, looks good. And she was like, do you want one? I was like, I would love one. So she goes and gets me a slice of pizza, comes back and gives it to me. I was like, thanks. And I ate the piece of pizza, and I had already gotten a lap dance, which was like $1,000. I want to fucking kill myself. And she's like, so I'm eating the pizza, and she's just standing there, and I'm like, thanks. And she's like, do you want a lap dance? I was like, no, not really. And she's like, fuck you, motherfucker. I got fucking kids. She leaves. She's like, you're a piece of shit. Then she comes back and she's like, pay me for the pizza. I'm like, how much was the pizza? And she's like, $100.
Out of here. What did you do?
I didn't have any cash because the ATM was like $200
Dude,
for the withdrawal
you
fee.
go use the fucking ATM. It's like, there's $100 fee to withdraw this $20. Do you want to do that? And it's like, okay.
If they made it free, they would make so much more money.
No, dude.
So much more
My
money.
stripper this last time, she was like, I want to go to the private room, and for $500 we could do whatever you want. And I was like, maybe I'll take you up on that offer. And then I was like going to do it. I can't believe I'm admitting this on the podcast. Actually, I'm not going to continue with this story. But needless to say, I didn't go to the private room because it wasn't in my budget, and I'm a moral man. But got a normal lap dance, and she's like, well, now that we're not going to the private room, you got to take. She walks me to the ATM. She's got me to give me a tip. I'm like, oh, okay. I go into the thing. It's like $20 ATM fee. I'm like, how much is this? Like maybe $20. And she clicks 100 and like takes it out of my hand. Like, they rob you out of your hand.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're not going to object, but it's like
The equation.
yeah. You at least got a slice of pizza for the 100.
Dude, it was like 50-day-old Papa John's like Frito pizza.
So what did you end up doing? Did it get the bouncer to just boof you?
No, dude, we all just left. It was my buddy's birthday, and he's like a birthday queen. He's the coolest guy you'll ever meet. He owns a piece of like a bison farm in Montana. He's got like cool long hair. He dresses super cool, and he just does the weirdest fucking shit ever. He's like, He's like internet personality material, but he's a fucking birthday queen though. And so like he's like, everyone's gonna come to Vegas for my birthday, and I was like, I don't want to fucking go to Vegas for your birthday. And he's like, you have to come. So we go, and I'm like, we're sitting in the strip club. I buy him a lap dance. It's like fucking $150, $200 or whatever.
Jesus,
and
was this at the Spearmint Rhino?
At Spearmint Rhino,
Jesus,
dude.
It is tell me that's not a factory. Every time I thought the place was over, there's like a whole other section of like a private room with like degenerates and then another stage. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I thought it was in a labyrinth. It was horrifying.
It's fucking terrifying, dude. And these, the last things I got in there was like from 2 Latino strippers.
Yeah.
And
mine was Dominican.
They were I speak a little bit of Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, I get it from 2 of them.
Tulum 6 fucking weeks. I
So
in Mexico City. I fucking hope so.
Yeah, it's a little bit. So they're giving me the lap dance, and they're both talking about me. But the one girl who's like infinitely hotter than the other one is talking shit about me, and the other one's like, I don't know, I think he's like kind of cute. And the other girl was just like, I don't think so. He's kind of a fucking asshole. Like, so they're just talking shit about me the whole time, and I'm sitting there just like. Okay.
You should have been like, hey, hablo español.
No way.
That would have been so fucking funny if you pulled a James Bond on.
I didn't know.
Also speak Spanish.
Me hablo español.
Have you been to Vegas?
Never been.
Don't go.
Never been.
Don't go.
I gotta go.
You
once,
gotta go
you know?
once.
I gotta go once.
Listen, if you do it right, it could be a lot of fun, but it's very hard to do it right. Plans go awry very quickly.
Yeah.
You show up to the strip club. There's a line. A normal strip club night goes from we're getting bottle service VIP at the strip club just to skip the line, and then there's $1,000 gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You gotta over budget.
Yeah.
Big time.
Sounds like it.
For sure.
I think I spent like $4,000 in 3 days there.
Okay, so at this rate, I'll probably make it out there, give or take, next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Wait, so tell us again, how did you get trapped there for 5 days? Was this the same trip?
Dude, I was so like we didn't sleep a wink, man. It was just all like the amount of stimulants we did was disgusting, dude. And then so we go to the airport. I'm like ready to go home, check my bag. I go sit down at the gate, and I realized that I had that I was reading the gate for my layover flight. So I was sitting at the wrong gate, and my gate was on the other side of the fucking airport. Like I had to take a terminal there or whatever the train is. Yeah, the shuttle. Yeah. So I had to take a shuttle there. So I missed it, and I was like, shit. So I went and I stayed at what's the Pyramid Hotel?
Luxor.
The Luxor. Dude. Yeah. Oh my God. I walked in there and I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Like,
Chris Angel's just in the corner. Like, I need to pick a card.
It was just like pictures of Carrot Top everywhere, and I was like, this is so depressing.
That's his place.
It's awful there. And then I was just like walking around in the daytime, man, and like just sweating. I had one pair. Dude, I'm wearing like sweatpants and a button-down shirt. I just look like a crackhead. It was horrible, dude. And then I made the mistake the next morning, so I'm like 2 minutes away from the airport. So I'm like, my flight's at 6. I have no shit. I just have my carry-on. So I'm just going to get up at like 4:45. I'm going to get over to the airport. I'm going to be there like an hour early. I get there. The line is like a mile long for security. So I walk in. I like go to print my boarding pass, and they're like, please see attendant at the front desk. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. That line's a mile long. And I just turned around and walked out. And then I'm like, this could not get any worse, dude. I'm not even kidding. My stepdad calls me. He's like, hey, buddy, like the dog died. Like my childhood dog. I was like, this is the most depressing shit of my entire life.
That's the setup to keep you there for life.
Yeah, right.
You know what? Sweats, button down.
Dangerously close to living in Vegas for the rest of your life.
Dude, literally my first thought when I missed the flight the first time was like, this is how people end up homeless in Vegas, man. Because the first thought I had was like, maybe this is supposed to happen, and I'm supposed to stay and win the World Series of Poker. And, and I lost like $1,000.
And then, then you missed the second flight, presumably?
Yeah, I missed the second flight.
Where do you do that?
Fortunately, I didn't like do a hard checkout at the Luxor, so I went back there. I got another flight. It was for that night. And they just gave me a credit for it because I missed that one. So I went back to the Luxor, did an extended checkout so I could check out at like 3 o'clock, and then I just walked around Vegas till like 8 o'clock, dude. I remember tracking the steps on my phone. I walked like 13 miles or some shit.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
You probably saw things you never wanted to see.
Oh yeah, man.
Probably, what is it, like
Just
Monday
pure
at this
shambles.
point? Tuesday?
It was a Tuesday. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And what the worst part was, dude, I had just done Industry Room a few weeks prior, so I get the call from Rich Brooks on
this
Saturday.
is recently.
Yeah. So this was in October,
Oh,
like
wow.
Halloween. So I like booked a couple shows through Industry Room, and I had to fly back. I got back on Tuesday night, just no sleep, just a shell of a man. And then I had my first show the next night,
Jesus.
and I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna like. I couldn't even remember my jokes or anything. So I went up and I just told the Vegas story.
Did it crush?
Yeah, it
I'm
did,
sure
dude. It did.
It's pretty
Yeah.
raw.
That's
It's a
great.
fresh wound.
Yeah. It was
People
tight.
could eat that up.
Fresh enough to still show.
Yeah,
They
man.
just look at your eyes.
Yeah.
Just fucking death.
That's the thing, though. People like when I tell stories like on stage, I'm like, oh, this recently happened to me. Like, no one believes it.
Mm-hmm.
They like think that it's like part of an act, which like fair enough.
A lot of
Right.
the times it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like I wish that they knew.
Like,
'Cause,
hey, like, this is real.
Yeah,
I
it
can
would-
show you documentation.
Yeah.
You might have had a stench that they were like, he's not joking.
Yeah, we could smell it on this
You
kid.
could smell it on.
I had you ever get the booze breath?
Oh, it's the worst.
I had it for the first time in my life. I stopped drinking since then, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's
I
right.
haven't
You
like
said
been,
that
yeah, I haven't touched any drugs, no drinking.
What
Well,
do you
I'll
do?
have like a couple like here and there, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know,
I was just say, what do you do at Mike's when you have to do the one drink a minimum?
dude, I pay for the $8 waters.
Dude, fucking
Joey
man.
D did the same thing all
That's-
fucking.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened at the shop when everyone realized that tea was 50 cents cheaper than the bottles of water?
Oh
bro?
no, dude, tea is like $4 and change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a chamomile tea. It's
Every
like
time.
$4.50.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
I used to get seltzers, and like I had a joke about it. I was like, "Yeah, you'll never catch me dead paying $6 for these seltzers. Better yet, you got a better chance of seeing me suck my own dick on stage, because it's like crazy. Because kids buy it every day, two
Yeah.
times a day.
Yeah, easily. It's better than Cellar 77 though, when they had like buy one drink and it was like
Yeah.
$160.
Yeah,
for-
there was a comic there who was running a scheme with that.
Yeah.
$5 and a drink. I'd
Yeah,
be like, you
have to pay
fucking
the
kidding me,
5
buddy?
and the drink.
for 5 minutes in that
Yeah.
laser tag waiting room downstairs. Like
Yeah.
that shit was
Like,
like
what are
brutal.
we
People
doing
like
there?
that, Mike, but it's gone now, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy.
R.I.P..
The story was that the guy who owns the place was just like, no more mics. We're only doing shows, and he's like, so he. I guess a bunch of people like volunteered to run the shows, had like no time to promote it or anything. They weren't allowed to promote it because the place didn't have a
It's not allowed.
cabaret
It
license.
doesn't- Exactly,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I forgot that
Yeah.
places have to have a cabaret
Yeah.
license.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was hearing for the longest time. That's why they were pumping out so many mics, because they didn't have the license to do shows. So they were like, their whole thing was like, we'll do 5 mics a night, and they would put them on Eventbrite. I did a mic there, like a 10 o'clock Saturday once, and there was like 6 audience members.
Oh no
And
shit!
they're like, oh, did you guys just like come by? Or they're like, oh no, we saw the Eventbrite. And I'm like, dude, what? Like,
that's electric.
yeah.
I mean, dude, you can like running shows and getting people to come to shows is so much easier than a lot of people make it out to be. Like,
Yeah, you think so?
oh my god, yeah,
We've
man.
wanted to do one in Hoboken forever, but I don't know with everything coming up if we have the
Yeah,
time.
that's
for
the
that.
last
Yeah.
thing we need to undertake.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, like when I started out, man, I was doing the bringer shows. I realized like pretty quickly that if you like post about the shows, like we all know, the comics all know like that it's a bringer, right? But like no one else knows. They think you're like, they see Broadway
You're
Comedy
crushing
Club,
it.
they're like, holy shit, man! Like
Yeah.
I got to go see what this guy's up to. So you just post about it casually, and then people just fucking come.
Yeah.
So like if you're running a show, like start, posting about it and making it seem like it's this
Yeah.
like big thing.
Especially us being from Jersey, like there's how many times do you have friends like, oh, I want to come see a show, I want to come see a show.
Yeah.
So
All
like,
the
I'm sure
time.
the same thing with
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's wild. And then Cellar 77 got down, and now
Yeah. We'll bleep that.
bleep the name.
Yeah.
I've been loving the bleeps because people are like, what the fuck are they saying?
Yeah.
You've been bleeping a lot.
Just like the last couple episodes.
Like we bleep
we
names.
we
and
usually don't bleep. We
Yeah.
usually are bleep free.
we only bleep like names. We don't bleep words.
You should bleep out every time you say bleep in this
Yeah.
episode.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah, I mean away. But yeah, there was an episode 2 episodes ago I did an accent we had to bleep.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, besides that, I mean,
Yeah.
The best was last week when we did your entire phone pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I saw him like my week of training. I did a mic with Christian, and he was like, "Oh, is that your pitch?" I was like carrying it around. And I was like, "Yeah, that's it." Like,
listen, man, he came from sales. He knows the deal.
No, I know.
I was just actually, I got a new job. I was like a sales manager, and I was there for like 5 weeks. Me and my buddy Tim. Tim was the director of the team, and he built this team out at this like ed tech company that was exploding. So it was like a business development team. These guys were just like booking demos and whatnot. So he calls me up. He's like, I want you to come be the day-to-day manager. All right, great. So I train all these people. We're cruising. Like everyone's killing it. We're 6 weeks into it. We hired a bunch of people. Like everything's going great. They just give us a shout on a Monday afternoon, and they were like, hey, you guys are fired.
What?
Yeah. It was insane.
You have to name the
Wait,
company.
so did you get another?
I'll name it.
Did
Fuck
you get
these guys.
Did you get another job or no? Because I remember
No.
you had said you're like, I'm gonna probably just coast a little bit, do more stand up. Like
yeah. I mean,
about a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So I decided that I am just gonna do. I saved up enough where I can like probably sustain myself for like a year and a half, like until I like need something crazy. But so that'll be good. But like it honestly couldn't have come in a more perfect time, man. Like I'm figuring it all out. I'm like fine. I'm like getting booked now, which is great. So like now I can spend all day writing, which has just it's been awesome, man. I've been meeting all these amazing comics that are like, 7, 10, 15 years in.
Yeah.
And they've been like teaching me all this great stuff
For sure.
that I can practice. So like, and I learned it all probably in the month of March, like while I was working this job. So then when I lost it, I was like, oh shit, now I can just do what I've been waiting to do.
Yeah.
So it's been great, man.
That's awesome.
It's been great.
Yeah. And then what do you think's next for you? You just producing your own show? Do you want to produce more shows? Do you want to just keep doing shows? Are you working towards a half hour or a special?
Yeah, honestly, man, right now I'm coming up on like haven't done this for a year, and like I have like my tight 5, but like I feel like I've grown too much to like use it. So now I'm going back. I'm gonna like rework the 5, the 7, the 10, the 12, and like get it going. Right now I'm just doing as many spots as I can. I'm probably getting up on like in front of an audience like 10 times a month, which is pretty
dude.
great.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, so gonna keep that going, and then just see what happens, man. No plans other than that, just to get good.
Yeah.
Where would you like to go with this? Like, do you want to be living and working off of stand-up for the rest of your life?
Long-term goals, man.
Yeah.
I want to be like Steve Carell in Crazy Stupid Love. Like I want the lead role in a feel-good comedy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
It's a fucking good aspect. I love that movie, dude.
It's such a good
Yeah,
movie.
that's the thing is like we're actors too, and it's like that's still where I want to end up.
Yeah.
And stand-up is just like a great fucking exercise and stepping stone on the way. You know what I
100%,
mean?
man. I mean, I would love to do stand-up forever, man. Like there's no better place to be than when you're on stage just crushing. It's a blast.
And everyone's so fun, dude. That's the best part of it.
Right.
It's like it's very rare to find someone that like really just sucks as a person off stage.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have yet to come across it.
Yeah. Even the people that suck on stage sometimes are just great off stage. You know what I mean?
Everyone's a good hang,
Like, it's
man.
a very great community. Yeah. Great hangs.
It has to be, because like it's already like going to mics and stuff is miserable enough already. Can you imagine if everyone sucked off stage?
That's what it is. Like it's like we're all soldiers going to war together every night, and that's obviously a drastic way of putting it, but that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta find some sort of comfort with one another when you're not sucking ass.
100%.
Yeah, the lows are low, the highs are high as shit.
The highs
I
are
know.
very damn high.
You know what it is like we got lucky. We started like August, I think, early September. So we had a nice little like warm run, but then fall kicked in pretty quick, and then the winter got cold, and then it got really cold and really bleak, and I'm like, man, this makes doing stand-up suck a lot more. So like that was just a rough patch, but like now it's getting warm out, it's gonna be nicer. Like I could just imagine this summer it's gonna be so nice, just like fucking shorts and a t-shirt, walk to fucking 20 mics in a day. You don't have to worry about subways or how freezing it is.
Oh yeah,
I'm hyped for that big
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, the winter sucked, dude.
it's brutal.
I would just sit in my room with no job and then 3 o'clock would come around. I'd bundle up for the tundra.
It's the worst.
Sit around for an hour till the 4 p.m. Get home at 10 and be like, this is my life.
When I first moved here and I wasn't working, I remember just like all day long just writing garbage joke after garbage joke and being like, all right, I did absolutely nothing all day. Time to go bomb at the Pear, and then bomb at the Shop, and then bomb at Greenwich Village, and then come home and fucking just hate myself and wake up and do it again tomorrow. And someone was like, are you enjoying it? And I was like, I love it so much.
It's great.
It's so good, dude.
It's not
so
about enjoying it. It's
Yeah.
about the ride and the grind.
You gotta just learn to enjoy the suffering sometimes, but it's fun.
I mean, it's like I feel like that's like the epitome of what it is. Like, if you don't enjoy the suffering, you're never gonna like get better and like do it as much as you want to.
Yeah.
Until like you're okay with it, that's when things like start to come together.
Yeah.
It's just like such a fun environment to be because you're going through that struggle, but the struggle is fun because you're doing it with other friends, and like you see people that are really doing well and know that they're gonna make something of themselves, and then opportunities present themselves. Like the play, like we did that, but like we wouldn't have had that if like O'Toole and SB and Caroline weren't in our lives. You got other shit going on. All of us are doing like sketches and whatnot, and like. That could lead in 10 years to like you being on stage at the Oscars and Will Smith slapping you in the face.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Because he'll have gotten his band lifted by then.
Exactly, 10 years.
Well, I wouldn't be a piece of shit and talk about his wife.
Dirty whore wife.
Someone outside the pair one day was like, I will go. Someone was barking, and they were like, I will only go to this show if somebody can defend Will Smith. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Wait, I can get a spot on the show if I defend? Well
then.
Funny you say that. I think what he did was just fantastic.
Admirable. Honestly, I did, like, let's think about this, like, logically. Will Smith's wife has been getting fucked by everybody, and everyone knows about it.
Especially Will Smith knows about it.
Yeah, Will Smith knows about it.
He tells him to his face.
So he's probably bottling up all that anger, right? But he can't just, like, drive over to, like, everyone in Migos' house and just slap them in the face. So someone presented the opportunity for him to express his discontent with it in public.
His breaking point.
Yeah, he was just like, hey, by the way, I'm sick of this shit. So, like, I would have done the same thing.
Well, dude, then I just
on
saw
stage in front of 10 million people 15 minutes before he was going to win Best Actor, which he's been working towards for 30 years.
And then the best part is New York Post put an article up this morning that Jada didn't want to marry Will Smith and that her wedding day was, quote, the most miserable day.
Oh,
and it's like, dude, that comes out like 3 weeks after he tries defending her honor. I'm like, dude, I'm more impressed that we haven't seen the article yet of him just bloodying their entire house with her corpse in like LA.
I would give him all the props in the
horrible.
world if he was like, I'm going to divorce this bitch and go live a better life. Like
They should just lift his Oscar ban. Like when
If
he
he
does
did
that,
that,
they'll be
yeah.
like, you figured it
You
out.
figured it
That
out.
was the riddle.
This was the lesson.
Dude, Will Smith is a champion of his craft. He was a rapper, an actor. He's hilarious. He's like got this awesome, like grateful
He's a
personality.
Scientologist.
Yeah, is he?
A-list movie
Yeah.
star.
But he like, is he actually?
Yeah.
Holy
I've
shit.
been looking into that. I don't know if he is, because I looked into that. People are saying that, but like his kids, like he sent his kids to like a Scientologist school, so people think he is. I don't know.
There's like a Christian.
Well,
like a Catholic Scientology.
how often do you see a Muslim sending his kid to Catholic school?
Yeah, that is true, Giuseppe. Logic. The more you know.
But like, could you imagine the kind of tail that guy could get? Like,
Oh my God.
Why is he
was,
putting up with this?
When Jada was cheating on him, he was cheating on Jada with Margot Robbie. It's like,
Is that
dude,
true, that?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I know they were in a movie together.
No, I'm pretty sure like they were hooking up.
I hope that's true on his.
It's like, dude, dude, get out of there.
'Cause, I mean, like,
You're doing good, bud.
open relationships are great, but only if
No,
both
they're
parties
not.
are equally crushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I guess,
and
in
Will doesn't
theory.
have that energy where he's like the man whore, whereas like Jada Smith is like open relationship. I got Chester on Monday. I got August on Tuesday. I got
And then on
Jimmy
Friday,
on
I'm going to go on my private talk show podcast and display all of this so everyone knows.
private
Yeah.
for the public.
For the public, I should have said. But yeah.
And then
that
Will
whole
will
thing is-
come on and I'll tell him all of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Well,
that's crazy about stand-up, man. It's like Chris Rock just wanted to tell some jokes on stage, and now he's getting slapped in front of 15 million people at the Oscars. Pete Davidson, now he's on SNL dating a whore.
Well, yeah,
they
but
gotta
Pete Davidson's not a comic anymore. Like we
No.
can all agree.
Yeah,
That's
but
like
I mean, he
he's-
started off, he was probably doing
No,
the
I
same
know,
mics we
but
were.
he's
Yeah,
like
100%.
one of those people where like the fame has like superseded the idea now.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's not. I just see him as like he's just like a big celebrity now.
Yeah.
He's not a comic.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He came and did a show at Northeastern, and like me and all my friends went to go see him, and he did. So like I don't know if you guys know this about like the like college contracts when you do stand up there. When you guys get there,
Oh, like a college.
you have to do like a certain amount of time, and if you don't do the whole time allotted, you don't get paid.
Oh, wow.
So he was supposed to do whatever it was, let's call it 30 minutes, and he gets to like 25 minutes, and he's just like out of material. So he's like, do you guys want to hear me do some old jokes? And everyone was like, yeah. So he's like, all right, like shout out the ones you want to hear. And my buddy screams out one of these older bits that he had, and he's like, oh yeah, that one's great. And he pulls up the recording of it on YouTube and plays it through the microphone for the whole crowd. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
what an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, like, power to him, man.
Was he funny?
No.
I think he sucks.
Sounds like what a lot of people say.
I don't think he's funny at all on SNL. So I don't know why he has a career, but he's crushing ass. So good for him.
There was I went to the Patrice O'Neal benefit show.
Oh, you did? I heard that was sick.
Unreal, dude. Unreal. Remind me to tell you about Sherrod Small there. I just did a show with them last night. You guys got to hear this shit. But at the show, there were 7 girls sitting behind me, and they were all there for Pete Davidson, and they wouldn't shut the fuck up the whole time. Dude, they talked through everyone's set, and then Pete Davidson goes up. He did like pretty much the check spot, and they were all freaking out, but he only did like 8 minutes of material because he like didn't have a lot to like talk about. And then they get up and they leave, and they missed Bill Burr. They missed, who else did they miss?
Dave Attell.
They missed Dave Attell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are the 2 that they missed. Like, could you imagine?
They don't even realize that they're at like this benefit for like arguably one of the best, if not the best, comics.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's just
of
like,
all time.
yeah, they're just like, yeah, Pete Davidson show.
They're like,
the
bring
worst.
back Pete. I was like, are you guys out of your fucking mind? You are like, there was so much good talent there. You guys got to hear this. Sherrod Small might have cracked the code to recovery lines. It's the greatest thing.
This was last night or at the Patrice thing?
At the Patrice
He
thing,
was getting
I
up?
couldn't remember. Yeah, so he did like 15 minutes at the Patrice show, and like I didn't really know who he was at the time, and I couldn't remember the line for the life of me. And then when I heard him do it last night, I was like, this is the fucking guy. It's the most brilliant thing ever. So he has this like whole bit where like he'll tell this one joke. I forget what it is, but then it's like a really smart joke, and not a whole lot of people get it. And then he goes on this tangent about like how jokes only work if you know stuff. Mm-hmm. So like, and then anytime he tells a joke that doesn't like kill, he's like, jokes only work if you know stuff, and everyone dies. It works 100% of the time. This guy cracked the code. He's like, I'm not the idiot. You guys are fucking retarded.
Making it sound dumb.
Dude, I was like, this is brilliant.
That's pretty funny.
That is good.
Yeah.
Where did you get up with him last night?
Stand Up New York.
Nice. Where is that again?
It's
Upper West. Right?
79th Street.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he murdered, dude. It was a tough crowd, too, and he murdered.
Isn't that crazy when you just get booked on some random show and you're excited about it, and then someone drops in? Like, remember the whole Derek Gaines thing still shocks me.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys?
I did like Dean David, you know Dean, right?
Yeah.
Let us get up at Aggressively Chill. We got
well,
up.
No, that was
nights.
I didn't get up. That was like that was your first show.
First show
then I did
ever.
my first a few weeks later.
And I got up, and then I was supposed to go like second or third or something, fourth or fifth, and then like they're like, Derek Gaines just dropped in. He's gonna go up. I'm like, they're like, you're getting bumped. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like I was gonna do 6 minutes or something.
Did you still get up or?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But I got to get up after him. I didn't follow him. I think Jared Schwartz followed him, which must have sucked. But like I think Derek was supposed to do like 10, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, I think. Ends up he opens with, and it was true, he was shroomed out. Like he had just drank a bunch of shroom tea, and he did 25 minutes of arguably one of the best sets I've ever seen. It was like seeing
so
like
funny,
Chappelle like in his early days, like fucking crushed it. And like even after me and him were sitting at the bar and I'm waiting to get up, he walks out. He's like, hey, great set. He's like, man, I don't even know what I just did. He's like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna do that again.
And dude, I saw him like a month ago at Aggressively Chill, like same show, and I'm like, dude, I saw you do that set a few months back, like shroomed out. I'm like, that was incredible. He's like, one of the best nights of my life, man. Like,
dude, and now
you could tell like the euphoria that was running through him was probably just like
but like that was just an
insanity.
early show for me. I didn't know, and like I was like on a show with him, and now we're like, that guy's doing the Pete Davidson Netflix special like next month. Like that guy's
well, yeah,
huge.
he's in King of Staten Island too.
Yeah, he's in King of Staten Island. He's on that show with Tracy Morgan. Like he's huge, and I'm just like some stupid asshole doing my first show after 4 months.
Yeah. You got to follow it, ride the energy.
Yeah, I did pretty well that night too, actually.
I bet, man. I bet, because you have such a great energy on stage. So I'm sure like they were riding the high, and like you just fucking.
It was a good crowd that night too. It was a lot of crazy things going on in the audience, but it was fun.
Where is that show at?
That's Brooklyn at a bar called Gold Sounds.
Oh, okay, nice.
It's like 10 minutes from here.
The bar shows are they're fun, dude.
Yeah.
I like them.
Brooklyn too. You get like obviously a little out there crowd, but like when they're in, they're in. You know what I mean? Like Manhattan, you might get some like NYU bitches that are too good to like laugh, and then like I don't know.
You would think like a Bushwick crowd would be like worse, but then you go and it's like from like the cover of the book, you're like, oh man, I better tread lightly, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh,
yeah, these
people have a sense of humor.
Yeah. There was a show I did where there was like the crowd was full of presumably like 23-year-old girls.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like this is gonna be lights out.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna crush. I was hosting, and I did like my dirtier stuff because I was like, okay, it's all young people. Like they want to hear some fucked up stuff. And I remember vividly one girl in the crowd literally covered her face when I delivered my punchline. She was like, like I bombed so aggressively hard. Like all the older people in the crowd, there was like 6 of them maybe, they were dying. Everyone that was younger was just like, this is not
so
PC.
Pissed, yeah.
They were angry, dude. They were so angry.
That's funny. Yeah, every once in a while that'll happen. You're like, all right, I'll eat the bullet on this one.
Just misread. Yeah. These younger people don't want to hear. People are getting pretty upset at shows. At the 8 o'clock show at Stand Up last night, like some guy and his girlfriend were heckling the comedian so hard about like I think it was, they felt like they were being like racially profiled or something like that because the guy was doing crowd work with everybody. Mm-hmm. The guy that was doing the crowd work was this like very small like gay man, and he was just like having fun with everyone, but the guy was like sort of freaking out, like losing his shit, and they had to remove him.
Wow.
It's funny when people go to stand-up shows, like, and like something happens that you're supposed to expect when you pay money to go to that, and then they're just like, "What's going on?
Why is this happening?
Yeah,
why is that guy trying to be funny?"
Yeah,
I couldn't even imagine. Like it's those hecklers,
it's
man.
quite shocking.
Have you run into it yet?
No, truthfully, I haven't. Thank God. I'm also like not. This isn't like a good thing. I should probably respond, but like. When I hear people like saying stuff in the audience, like blah blah blah, like going off one of my bits or whatever, I usually just ignore it.
Oh really?
Yeah, like once in a while, if I like feel like I could go down this path and do a little crowd work, because that's like I feel like there's layers to comedy, and like I am just figuring out finally like the joke writing stage and my stage presence. Then I feel like being good at crowd work is a whole other layer of the onion I gotta peel.
100%, dude. I had a little I got a little tip from somebody that made my crowd work a lot better. So like you ask like pointed questions to the audience for a bit that you already have lined up.
Yeah.
So like, let's say you have a joke about like your job or something like that. All you have to do is be like, hey, what's your name? Like, I am Dave. And it's like, Dave, like, what do you do for work, man? Like you look like a blue collar guy or something. And then you just like fish it over into your bit.
And they're like, well, I blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah. But just like that sheer act of just asking people questions.
It makes it seem more organic.
Yeah. 100%, dude.
Sure.
Yeah. That's the key to hosting, I think. Is just making it look like you just thought of it. I mean, that's the key to stand up, but like,
well, you'll be hosting the 27th when I go at Broadway.
Yes, sir.
So I'll be like, yeah, he's a Jersey guy. This guy, look I was back in Jersey recently. Girl, I know tried porn. Boom, find it right.
Done.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
If you are going to the show on the 27th, forget you heard that. Bleep it out.
We'll bleep that.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think we're hitting our time. Christian, this has been just an incredible honor.
Christian, what do you leave? What do you leave the people on? Now it's like tie it up. What are we?
Do your plugs.
What do you leave them on?
Go to church.
Go to church.
Man of God.
And then also too, where can everyone catch you? Socials, show. You got a show. Plug it up, dude.
Yeah, man. You can follow me at Shut Up Gutowski. I post all of my shows there. I'll be at Broadway every other Wednesday and St. Mark's, Stand Up New York, Fridays, Saturdays, all month. So
fuck yeah, dude.
Come catch it.
Go support the man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Support him. Always,
thank you for
dude.
coming, brother. We got you. Smoke them if you got them, folks.
Smoke them.
You want to do Manscaped really quick?